Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Jayant Nashtuprayam Yavadretu Nityam Bhagavata Shikya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 5, Karma Yoga in Krishna Consciousness, text 12 onwards. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale sattu nibatyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of his all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. See, this is the difference. Activity everybody has to do. But Krishna makes a distinction. A steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace. Unadulterated means his peace will not be, he will always be at peace, no matter what the situation in life is. Because he offers a result of all activities to me. And whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, means who's not doing any yoga, who's greedy for the fruits of his labor, which most of the population is, becomes entangled. See, Prabhupada says, the difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the results of his activities. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the results of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one's functioning in the conception of duality, that is, without knowledge of the absolute truth. So one working in the conception of duality. What is the conception of duality? Means body and soul are two different. They are different, but conception, or heat or cold, honor, dishonor, they're all related to the body, but not to the soul. So when we work in that conception, without knowledge of the absolute, then that causes anxiety. All over the world it is there. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada says, all that exists is a product of Krishna's energy. Obviously, nothing can happen, nothing can exist without Krishna or Krishna's energy. And Krishna is all good. In 5th chapter only, Krishna will say that I am your best well-wishing friend, Suhridam, Sarvabhutan, Gyatam Mam Shantam. So if he says, I am the proprietor, controller, enjoyer of everything, and I am your best well-wishing friend. So if I have a friend, suppose I'm in India and I have a friend, my best friend is Prime Minister Modi. Well, now he doesn't do any favors to anybody that we know, but suppose he does. So will I have anything to worry about? If I have Prime Minister who's ready to take care of me, ready to help me in every way, any way, at any time, is this something I need to worry about? No, I'll be living very peacefully, happily, because he will take care. He has to worry about my welfare, not me. So, but then if we understand Krishna in that way, Krishna, the all-powerful, supreme personality of Godhead, he says, I'm your well-wishing friend. If I have that confidence, now how is that confidence going to come? It's not going to come just like that. Like it's a switch, we have to turn it on. We have to work on it. Of course, the relationship is always there, but we have forgotten that. And if he is on our side, where is a question of any anxiety? There's none. There cannot be any. And this is what Prabhupada is saying. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental, have no material effect. So when we serve Krishna and any activity in Krishna consciousness, it doesn't say only sitting in the temple and doing activities. No, any activity. Arjun killed so many warriors after listening to Bhagavad Gita, but he was not entangled. No material effect. One is therefore filled with peace. Actually, peace is because in this shloka, Krishna said peace. Otherwise, not just filled with peace, he's blissful in Krishna consciousness. But one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. Definitely cannot. Even if one is Elon Musk, the richest person of the world, cannot have peace because he's always linked with, okay, how I'm going to make money, what new product, and how I'm going to run this company, and what government is after me, what regulation, this, that. Always worried, always. The one who has Krishna in his life, in his heart, he has nothing to worry. But Krishna has to take care of. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness realization. That there is no existence besides Krishna is a platform of peace and fearlessness. So that is a secret. But how to come to that level? For that, the process is given. And while we are making progress on that path, adopting that process, there will be tests. Definitely there will be tests. How much we have advanced and how much we have learned and how much more we have to learn. But even in the test, Krishna will be there to help. Krishna's devotees will be there to help. That's another aspect. But that faith has to. And then Krishna says, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi neva kurvanna karyan. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Wow. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, so mentally renounces, not that he is not going to do any activity, he has to, but he renounces all actions, means he's not attached in any way. He's only attached to Krishna. So this city of 9 gates, Navadvare Pure Dehi. So what is the city of 9 gates? The embodied soul lives in the city of 9 gates. So embodied soul. So soul is not the same as the body. Soul is different from the body. He's just God. He's inside this body. Or another way, his body is a covering of the soul. And this body is made of 9 gates. So what are these 9 gates? two nostrils, two eyes, two ears, mouth, anus, and genitals. The activities of the body or the figurative city of the body are conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. So activities of the body are conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. No city of nine gates, this body, and this body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, soul, ego, gross and subtle bodies. Now all these elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, on their own, they are just inert material. But now, as Prabhupada said, particular modes of nature, the modes of nature also therefore, earth, water, fire, air, ether, that makes the whole body. And in what mode it functions, whether mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. And all these three modes, they keep on changing their predominance. Sometimes goodness will become predominant, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance. And it keeps on happening for every living entity. Of course, other living entities other than human beings, they are completely controlled, so they cannot have any change. They're controlled by nature. Which mode, when they are function. But human beings have this option. So which mode this whole city or body or this whole body can function in? Although we have acquired modes from previous lifetimes, that this life I've been given this body and I've been given this particular mode will be predominant in my life. Suppose mode of passion. But now, because I am in human life, I means this soul, I have an option. I can remain in passion, I can go down to ignorance, and I can elevate myself to goodness. It's up to me. Yes, the other passion mode of passion will be very strong. But soul is beyond all those modes of passion or ignorance or goodness. Soul is totally beyond. So there will be some hard work to do to come in the mode of goodness, but it's not impossible. That's what Krishna is saying. The soul, although subjecting himself to the conditions of the body, can be beyond those conditions if he so desires. He can be. Owing only to forgetfulness of his superior nature, he identifies with the material body and therefore suffers. By Krishna consciousness, he can revive his real position and thus come out of his embodiment. Come out of his embodiment. Instead of thinking, I'm man, I'm woman, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm black, I'm white, I'm brown, I'm whatever. We have to come out of this. We have to still function with the body, you know, outside the body, but the conception has to go out that I'm this and that. And how? Prabhupada says, by Krishna consciousness. Therefore, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, one at once becomes completely aloof from bodily activities. In such a controlled life, in which his deliberations are changed, he lives happily within the city of nine gates. In Bhagavatam, when we studied this Puranjan, story of Puranjan, told by Narad Muni, this was about the city of nine gates. And he went in so much of detail how this works. But nevertheless, this is where we are. We are in this city of this body and it has nine gates. But now the point is how to live in this city and completely detached. because we are not the city. We are inside the city. The 9 gates are mentioned as follows. Navdware pure dehi hanso lelayate bahi. Vashi sarvasya lokasya sthavarasya charasya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's living within the body of a living entity, is a controller of all living entities all over the universe. So this Paramatma feature is a controller of all body, all living entities all over the, not just human beings, all living entities. And everybody has this city of 9 gates. It's just human beings, as human beings, we have an option. We can choose. The body consists of 9 gates, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, the anus, and the genitals. The living entity, in his conditioned stage, identifies himself with the body. But when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself means within this body, he becomes just as free as the Lord, even while in the body. And this is from Shuta Upanishads. So either we identify ourselves as a body, which we do. This is the false ego. This is the material conditioning, that I am this body. And liberated stage, I am not this body, I am a spirit soul and I am a servant of Krishna. And this body is given to me by my previous karmas. All I have to do is use this body in the service of Krishna. It's a very good instrument, human body, and to keep it fit also in the service of Krishna, because this is how I can serve Krishna, and this is Krishna has given me this body, which is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Everybody's body is made of that. Every body is made of that, those elements only. But somehow Krishna has given me these elements in this mold, which I am in. So with knowledge, we understand. And all these elements belong to Krishna. So ultimately, we should use everything in the service of Krishna. But what do we use it? That's where the problem is. So therefore, a Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body. Because he understands, I'm not this body, I'm just living in the body. And also, later on we'll see how Krishna explains, not just the body elements come from him. Even the strength to work comes from him. Intelligence comes from him. And in Bhagavad Gita, because he did not go into too much detail, Bhagavatam goes in detail, he says, even the power of digestion I am, he tells her. It's not that food we eat, it just digests automatically. It works automatically because this is how Krishna has made the arrangements. What if we cannot digest the food that we eat? First, he gives us the intelligence to grow the crops. Of course, we misuse the intelligence and start eating meat. That's a different story. So grow the crops, he gives the intelligence, and then to how to grind, if it is wheat, and how to make rice and make sabji, dal, whatever. And he gives us the intelligence how to do all this, to cook the food, and then to eat. Nobody teaches us that we have to eat. We eat. And then he says, I am the power of digestion in everybody's body. Even though if as a human being, we are not supposed to, but we eat meat, still he is the power of digestion, even to eat, even after we eat meat. Because he knows without digesting the food, and not just digestion. From digestion, the different body organs, they take different elements from the food and they function properly so that the whole body can function properly. How great science is inside us. We don't even know how the whole thing is happening. Different enzymes come in the picture and they digest different, they take different elements from the food, and every different organ takes those elements, and whatever is left over, it's secreted out, it's excavated. How this works? Nobody knows, actually. I mean, scientists try to figure out, yeah, this is, it works, enzymes comes out. But how? Who guides? Bile secretion is there, or other secretions. How does it work? I mean, we have a car, but car, there are no secretions. We have to put the petrol in, and somehow an engine is there and it gives energy and car moves. But there are no secretions from any parts of the car. But the body, it's such a complex system. And to protect the body, he has given, like the vital organs, he has given the rib cage, and the cage is there, and the bone structure is there, and then the muscles are there, and then the tendons and cartilage, so many things. How does it all work? This is his engineering. And he doesn't even have to sit down to do the engineering. It's all just by his energies that take care of all this. So the point is, we should use this, everything that he has given so perfectly, so minutely he has designed, use it in his service. That's all he's asking. And then in the process, we will not be entangled. Means we will make progress on the path back to God. Further he says, na kartatvam na karmani lokasya srajati prabhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Svabhavastu, the modes of nature. The living entity, as will be explained in the 7th chapter, is one of the energies or natures of the Supreme Lord, but is distinct from matter, which is another nature called inferior of the Lord. Somehow the superior nature, the living entity, has been in contact with material nature since time immemorial. Somehow, of course. It's not explained here how that works. But somehow we've been in contact with material nature since time immemorial. We don't know, nobody, I mean, Krishna knows, we don't know how long we've been here. And living entity, which is superior nature, is distinct from material nature. Material nature is inferior. But somehow, when we come in contact with this material nature, which is also Krishna's energy, nothing is separate from Krishna. Because of our desires, we have the desire to control or to be superior to this material nature. We become controlled. We think we are the controllers, but we become more and more controlled by these modes of nature, although we are superior. This is very, it's a big conundrum actually. How does it work? Somehow the superior nature, the living entity, has been in contact with material nature since time immemorial. The temporary body or material dwelling place which he obtains is a cause of varieties of activities and the resultant reactions. So, temporary body is a cause of varieties of activities. If we understand, I'm not this body, I'll not, I won't say we will be doing the activities, but I'll not get entangled. But here, when the temporary body which he obtains is a cause of varieties of activities and the resultant reaction. So we do the activity, we get the reactions. Sooner or later, either this lifetime or some lifetime later on. Living in such a conditional atmosphere, one suffers the results of the activities of the body by identifying himself in ignorance with the body. Living in such a conditional atmosphere. So conditional atmosphere. First of all, conditional means we have some limitations, some conditions with which we can function in this body. We have some conditions on this. Yeah, I can only see this far, I can only hear this kind of sounds, I can only live this way, I have to have my food regularly for this body to function. Soul doesn't need food, but the body to function because the conditions are there. And even living in those conditions, by those conditions, we function and get more and more entangled. Means then we get new body, and what is the actual basis of getting new body is our desires. So we have a body which acts under some conditions, and then we develop desires that I want to enjoy. Desire is basically to enjoy. Okay, I'm brown, and then somehow working with whites, I develop a desire, I should be white body. Well, this body I already got brown, so next body I could get white body. And in this brown body, I think I can enjoy better in white body. Okay, take a white body. If my karmas are that way. See if you can enjoy. No, there is no enjoyment. I'll enjoy more in a dog's body because dogs live very nicely. They have such nice, wonderful owners. Take care of them. Well, we can get dog's body, but not necessarily in a nice ownership. That depends upon our karma. Okay, now I'm in dog's body. There is no more control. Now I'm completely controlled by nature. So then slowly, I evolve back into human form of life. And then again desires come in, again karmas come in, and this cycle goes on and on and on. And we identify ourselves with the body. That's another thing. The soul is not the body. Soul is not dog or cat. Whatever our original position in the spiritual world where we fall, that is the original nature of the soul. Whether we were in peacock body or a dog's body in spiritual world or a human form, that is the original nature. But when we fall here, we cannot function properly if we don't identify ourselves with the body, function properly in the material sense. Krishna has to, or Krishna, material nature, makes us forget who we are. So it's the ignorance acquired from time immemorial that is a cause of bodily suffering and distress. As soon as the living entity becomes aloof from the activities of the body, it becomes free from the reactions. So how do we become aloof from the activities of the body? We are still functioning. It's how mentally or consciously, we become separate. We develop Krishna consciousness, or not develop, it's dormant. We just have to reawaken it. And then we are aloof from the activities of the body because we are acting in Krishna's service, even though we are doing the material activity. Example again, Arjun. From outwardly, it looks like he was killing people. He should have been punished. But he was doing it as a service for Krishna. Krishna asked him to fight them. So he was not entangled. And this is what Krishna says in Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Just abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. I'll relieve you of all sinful reactions. Do not. And Krishna can do anything and everything. He is a Supreme Lord. This is where consciousness comes into picture. As long as he is in the city of body, he appears to be the master of it, but actually he is neither its proprietor nor controller of its actions and reactions. Not even controller of its actions. Why? Because the actions, Krishna explained in chapter earlier, we desire something. Okay, suppose a murderer, he desires that he wants to kill somebody. Even in the, before the action, there are three more stages: thinking, feeling, willing, and then action. So we think about killing somebody. We feel like, yes, I want to kill somebody. We will, yes, oh yeah, I'm going to kill somebody. Even at thinking level, Krishna is sitting as Paramatma. He tells us, no, don't do it. It's not right. No, no, no. My desire is stronger, getting stronger. Krishna still guides. No, don't do it. Feeling willing. Yes, I want to do it, no matter what. Okay, you do it then. What to do? He is sitting there to sanction, but he is also witnessing all our desires and all our activities. And then comes the action. And action also doesn't come on its own. When we have the strong desire to do something, and Krishna as Paramatma has sanctioned it. Sanctioning means the three modes of nature then guide us. Prakriti Kriyamanani Gune Karmani Sarvaya. Then three modes of nature take over, and it's a nice painting if you have seen. The ladies are there with the strings attached to the man. So we become like a puppet. All we have to do is a desire. And if it is, if we have bank balance to back up that desire, Krishna sanctions the three modes of nature, they take over. And suppose we were predominantly in the mode of goodness, then this mode of passion takes over and ignorance, and then we commit the crime, say killing somebody. But who was the controller of actions? Three modes. By the sanctioning of Paramatma. Ultimately, it's Paramatma or Krishna. Paramatma is aspect of Krishna. But who is responsible? The soul. Because he desired, although he has no control over his actions. And then he gets a reaction, so he has no control over the reactions either. But he keeps on suffering. He is simply in the midst of the material ocean, struggling for existence. The waves of the ocean are tossing him, and he has no control over them. And we think we are the controllers. This is the illusion that keeps us in the material world. I have no control by all this analysis of thinking, feeling, willing, and what material modes and the Paramatma feature. But still I want to control. That is illusion. I think I'm the control. I have no control. Even I have no control over the body I'm in. Can we stop the eyelids from blinking? If I think I'm the controller, let me stop. Let me stop from getting old. Let me stop from getting diseased. Can't do that. And definitely not death. That's not in our control. Our bodies, as we get old, our body starts losing the strength. Different organs either stop functioning or the functioning level goes down. Can we control it? No. By any amount of medicine we can. By doing yogasana, yes, to a certain extent, because they energize the different organs of the body. But the real purpose of yoga is to get connected with the Supreme, not just to do yoga asanas. But this part we don't understand. The waves of the ocean are tossing him and he has no control over them. And this is, one can see if somebody falls on in an ocean, he has no control. He can swim for a while, but that's about it. And one wave comes, it throws him here, other wave comes and throws him there. And this is the same thing, Bhavsagar, material ocean is doing to us. And we still think I'm happy here and I don't want to do bhakti, I don't want to do this. I think I'm the controller. His best solution is to get out of the water by transcendental Krishna consciousness. So get out of it. So somehow or other we are here. Okay, we have suffered enough. We have more suffering in this life waiting us. But the best thing is get out. And Krishna himself says in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I am the swift deliverer from the death or from the suffering of this material. I'm the swift deliverer, swift, very fast. I come and rescue you. But provided we take shelter of it, that's all. That alone will save him from all turmoil, the Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, everybody is suffering, every single person. And not just person, every single entity, this world is suffering. Suffering tremendously, not just little suffering, tremendously. But still we say, no, I don't want to get out of it. This is Maya. Okay, I guess I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
we keep on reminding ourselves कि हम Maya में involved नहीं हुए, but we are so much surrounded by material. I mean, you have to keep on reminding oneself.
So that's what the whole process is. Otherwise, one lesson was good enough, but we have to be given lessons continuously.
It's very difficult, Prabhuji.
It is difficult if you think it's difficult. It's easy actually. We just have to do it. That's all.
प्रभुजी घर में सारे दुश्मन बन जाते
घर में
सब लोग दुश्मन बन जाते हैं because hardly ever you see everybody in line with your thinking. You can give up everything, but बाकियों का क्या करें? They have their own.
That is true. Everybody has a different level of consciousness. They have their own. That's okay. But we keep on working on our process. This is relationship of this lifetime only. which we have to serve, take care of. I'm not against that. But what about our eternal relationship with Krishna? We have to revive it. Otherwise, we all are at a stage, at the age, where we have seen plenty in our lifetimes. And trust me, we had no control over. And we still keep on suffering. But the intelligent person is enough. I don't want to suffer next lifetime.
True, Prabhuji.
Next question also, sorry. It's about hello.
Hanji, Hanji.
Yeah, oh, अच्छा. See, the philosophy of I was reading the Yoga Sutra. You know, there's a Hindu University of America in Orlando. They run different courses. So I happened to sign up for Yoga Sutra by Patanjali. So now the whole philosophy of yoga, how does it align with the Krishna consciousness? Is it in line or is it something different, out of line with Krishna consciousness?
No, it's not out of line, but they don't teach all the stages of Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, there are 8 steps. Yogasana is one step, that Patanjali Yoga. But then after that Yogasana is one has to control. Then Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Samadhi is the ultimate step of that Ashtanga Yoga. Krishna will explain that in 6th chapter, next chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But all these yoga gurus, even Baba Ramdev, he does wonderful job. I'm not against what he's doing. But they only stop at yoga asanas. After that also there are steps. So yoga asanas are good to control the functions of the body and the mind. Where pranayama is very good for mind control. But then what? What do we use the mind control further?
No,
It should be in samadhi. Yes,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
अभी माता जी जैसे बात कर रही थी कि इतनी माया है उसको कैसे कंट्रोल करें. So is it not that this whole yoga, pranayama, and dhyana, this will kind of complement, this will help you in having control over the maya?
See, yes, Ashtanga Yoga is basically that's what it does. But Bhakti Yoga, what does it do? We are not just controlling or controlling our mind or body. We are using it in service of Krishna directly. So it's another step higher, because then the idea is to develop a higher taste. Then we'll automatically give up the lower taste.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So that is a thing I was coming to. I mean, these things may, like as you said, Hatha Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, they may lead to that final destination. They may help us, right? But the ultimate goal is the samadhi or the Krishna consciousness, right?
But when we come to 6th chapter, we'll see the conditions of Ashtanga Yoga.
Okay.
What are the conditions? There are some conditions. It's not just anywhere and everywhere we can do it.
Okay.
For Bhakti Yoga, there is no conditions. That also makes a difference. Okay, chalo. As we go along, we'll study more.
Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Okay, thank you, brother. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.